Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana again. I've got another video for you, and this one was inspired by another Jennifer McGuire video. She was using, I believe it was waffle flour, stamps and dies to create a similar scene to this. Now, I've used a combination of things. I have used one of my own stencils that I created, which I will share that link for that stencil on the Facebook page. Let's take a look at it real quick and I'll show you which one I used. So there are several. You can use whichever one you want. This is the one I used, this bottom one. Sorry, my cat's having an off day. She's crying. But there are others in here that you can use as well. I've created all of them and they're there for you to use. This is just called Cloud Stencils, but again, I will link it on the Facebook page. And that was one, I've created that one quite some time ago. So that's what I used for the background on the card. Let's go back to our work surface. And I just softly, very softly, which it's a little bit darker than it's showing up on the camera, but just very softly, I just did the whole card base, and I just did this on the front of a card. So I just took a regular fold card. Let's zoom back out a little. It's a regular card. Actually, let's get rid of that. That'll make it easier to see. And I laid it out like this. I took a piece of scrap paper and brought it right up to the fold line and then just a little beyond, because I've made this the same size. This cutout panel is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I just did the whole background with my stencil. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, it's a little bit darker, but it is a little darker in person. So the video that she uses actually has 2 separate pieces in it, and I've created both of those. Now, they're not exactly the way Waffle Flowers is. I just kind of, looked at their overall die, I guess, and kind of figured out where I wanted to go from there. So it's not exact, but you can always get that die, if that's what you like, from Jennifer's link on her video, which I will also link that below so that you can go and grab the files that not the files, but the links that she uses to purchase these supplies. So anyway, if you lay the other piece over the top, or you just use this piece, I chose to use this one, but this you could definitely layer them if you want. That's the look you'll get. So it looks like you're looking at the cityscape. Now I'm going to put a sentiment up here, which is why I decided not to use this one for this card, but you could. And for my background, I don't have any cityscape stamps, but you know what I do have? I have a couple of other options. I have stickers from way back in the day. These are no less than 30 years old, I'm sure. These are Mrs. Grossman's. I've got some others. So I used the other set of this, the daylight set of this, but here's the nighttime set. So I can say that for a different card. I've got a couple other cityscapes. This again looks like a nighttime scene to me, especially with the stars. But that would work. Now you might want to make a bigger card than the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, because if you're using something like this, because this is quite a large print. But you could go up to 5 by 7 or whatever size you like. I found this as well, another nighttime cityscape stickers. These are from Francis Meyer border stickers, and they are from, I do not know, it does not say, but I guarantee you they're at least 30 years old. And then I got these, I think I bought these in Alaska when I was living up there. And probably pretty well, the mountains are upside down that way and the trees are upside down the other way. But you could also do something scenic like this. Now if you don't have stickers, which many of you won't, you can do something different. Like you could just create each one little scene. I think some of their stamps and dies for Honeybee are like little plants. I can't remember what else they were, but you could put a cat or a dog. You know, maybe you got a parrot sticker who likes to look out the window. I don't know. You know, you could do whatever you want with that. You could also, if you don't want to stencil this background, you could use a print and cut. That would work too. So there's one other option that came to mind, and that is Creative Fabrica. So I went out and looked, and guess what? They have a lot of cityscapes. So let's take just a quick look at those. Alright, so these are just some, and I just did a search for city skyline. I'm sure you could be a little more specific if you want nighttime city skyline or whatever, but this is just a portion of what they have. So look at this. I mean, it's no different than stamping other than you're printing and cutting. I'm hoping I can enlarge that, but it's not going to let me. Let's do it that way. So that's a pretty cool skyline, actually. I don't know what that over there is, but yeah. So let's go. Got this one with New York. You could take that out of the bottom, I guess. Here's some colorful skylines. Let's see if we can get a bigger picture. So you could do those in different windows if you want, and shrink them and enlarge them and cut and slice and whatever you need. That one's kind of cool. Let's see what else. Got some over here. You've got, these are nice. And here's another one that's nice. So you've got lots of options as far as how to create your skyline. Now you could always probably find something in Designspace. Let's take a look. So if we go and do a search for images, we'll do skyline, and then I'm going to pop in free, and let's see what we get. It leaves that window open. There we go. So not a lot. Not a lot to choose from if you're looking for something free. In fact, I don't see anything there that I would consider skyline other than the mountains, maybe. I don't know what this is. I guess that is a skyline, but honestly, I don't know how you would use that. Although, I guess you would use it in the same way if you did a print and cut, and then cut your pane to go over the top. That could work, but it's pretty limited, as you can see. So I'm going to get rid of that. We're going to go back over to this Designspace. So this is the file. Let's zoom in a little bit. So this is the one I actually put on my card. This was the one I laid over the top to show you. And there are also these little bits here. Now you don't need to use these if you don't want to, but what you could do is use these as a print and cut. Now before I did that, I would make them a little bit larger just to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, because they fit into those cutouts exactly. Let's just do that real quick. So let's do an effect. We'll do an offset. We're gonna use our corners though, although we don't have to. Nobody's gonna see it. And we're gonna make that a little smaller. We don't need it quite that big. Okay, and I'm going to put it back to square just because that feels more right. So what you would do then is you would take these pieces, and they are not grouped together, but you could separate them, you know, the way you do with contour and multiple copies. And you could do Or you could just bring, you could do, what you could do is a print and cut. So what I'm thinking is, let's see if we've got, let's see, I'm just going to take, thinking what's the best and easiest way for me to do this. I'm going to take a shape. I'm going to do a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then let's change the color, and let's try and do, oh, what we need to do is change it to base or print and cut first, and then we can go into advanced. No, we go into color, change it to pattern. And I don't know what's out here. Oh. Flag's kind of cool. That might look alright. Let's just keep looking. There's another one. So you could always import your own skyline, and you can import it to your patterns or just as a image. You can use it the same way either way. I'm not really seeing anything that looks like a skyline, or even just like a scenic. Maybe that map. Boy, it's a lot of stuff. Just not what I'm looking for. Alright, let's use Elmo. Okay, so then you could put this, we want it on top just so we can kind of see where the Elmos fall. So we're going to do Shift, Control, and the right bracket next to the P. Okay, let's enlarge ourselves a little bit. So we got this guy, we got this guy. Well, you know what, I'm just going to do it and show you. So we're going to select both. We're going to slice, there we go. And pull that out of the way, and pull that out of the way, and get rid of both of those. So there's your Elmo, and we need to bring this to the top. And there you go. Now that's not a great example because we've cut off his face here. Over here he's laying in two panes. You can't even really tell what he is, but you get the idea. So that's one way to do a scenic. So I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna upload an image and I'm gonna browse to my backgrounds. I'm pretty sure I have a scenic category. Yep. And let's find something in here. Okay, well this is pretty. It looks a little fairy-ish like to me. Now I did this as an upload image, but you could also do it as a pattern. You can do it either way. We're just going to hit apply, and we're going to do a flat graphic, and I'm just going to upload. That is so pretty. I could live there. I'd be happy living there, I think. Okay, so minimize that, and then we're going to resize this, and I'm going to make the height 6 inches. That gives us a little bit of wiggle room, so I'm going to move it to the back, and we're going to pull everything over here, so then you kind of get an idea. So you could cut, well, you wouldn't even have to. So there's two ways you could do this from here. You could just print this out. as a print and cut, and then you could just cut this out and lay it over the top. Or if you want, you can trim this up to where it's going to fit better. Let's see, let's do something like this. Okay, did I save a square? I didn't. Let's grab another one. Actually, let's grab this rectangle. And we will just come over here and we'll just erase. Actually, I might want to scoot down just a little bit more. And so we'll erase the top part that's hanging over that frame, and we'll do the same on the bottom part. And get rid of that. Move this to the back. And there you go. So that's if you just want to print and cut, and it'll fit right behind there. That's actually kind of pretty, but I'm not going to do that. Or, and you don't even have to print and cut. If you've got the images, you can use them in any design software you might have. You don't have to just use them in Designspace. So keep that in mind. They're digital images. You can use them in many different kinds of design softwares. So the other thing you can do is, from here, if we lay this back over the top, let's just center it. It's not really going to matter, because what we're going to do next is we're going to slice. And this will give you individual panes to set right inside. Let's get rid of this. And let's center that. And that gives you just your little bitty squares that would just fit right down inside there into this overlay here. So I would put it down first, and then I would slide these into those slots. And then if you still like this, you can bring this to the top and you can do it like that. Now, I don't really like that in this particular instance, but if that makes you happy, use it. Or you could take this and change, you could do whatever you want with it. But her card inspired me. Now I'm going to delete this because I can't share my file with that in there. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. Actually, I want this one. This one's first just because I personally will use it the most. This seems a little taller. What size is that? 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. What size is this? Oh, this one's smaller. I don't know how that happened. But we're going to make it 4.25 by 5.5. That might have been me trying to make it fit on the card front without going edge to edge. But now that is going to change this a little bit. I can't really see it because they're the same color. So yeah, it doesn't really line up quite right. Let's do a line center. You can see a little bit of that blue down here and a little bit of that blue up here. So I'm just going to undo all that. And you just know that this may need to be resized a little bit. And if you do, these two won't really go together anymore. Well, yeah, I don't know how I did that. Oh my goodness, everything just, it's so complicated. Anyway, those still go together. So there you have it. Okay, let's save a copy as, and oh, now I'm all frazzled. Okay, well, it's not going to be hugs. It's going to be scenic window panes. ×2. All right. I did click cased just because I did kind of case it, so that might help me find it later when I go back to look for it. I think that's pretty much it. So we're going to hit save. So I will share this in the on the Facebook page. You know what I'm going to do? Because this bothers me now. Let's go back. Let's go and I'm going to make another. I'm going to make a copy of this. Maybe. What happened? Okay. Copy. I'm going to contour. Hide all contours. Apply. So now I've got a solid piece. I'm going to resize that to unlock it 5.5. Okay, so that's the size I wanted. Okay, so then I'm going to take this blue piece, the window panes, I'm going to align and center and slice. So that actually should fix this piece over here. There you go. Alright, so I'm going to get rid of this one because it was a little off. Not sure how that happened. I'm going to get rid of these, and I'm going to get rid of these, and I'm just going to slide this a little bit so you kind of get the idea. And then I'm going to save it again. So there, that's fixed. You guys don't have to worry about that. That was easy enough to do. Yeah, so you can make your own window pane cards. If you've got an old sticker supply from scrapbooking days, use those. Let me go back to my work surface here. So you can use your old scrapbooking stickers. You can use images either from Creative Fabrica or wherever you source your images. You could also cut out buildings. I mean, it's probably not that difficult to just use free shapes to create buildings and then put them to different heights, and then you could draw windows on them or cut out various size windows and place them, or whatever you want to do. But that's just more ways to create this. Or, you know, if you're looking for something even maybe easier, go to Jennifer's link, which is below to that video, and she will direct you to the honeybee stamps and dies that she used. And you know, I'm of the mindset currently at this phase of my life where I'm going to use what I have, but everybody's in a different place. So use, you know, do it the way it works for you, what's best for you. Okay, guys? So until next time, this is Georgiana signing off with Expressions Craft Studio, and I hope you have a happy crafty day.